I am your host. That's right, Jessica Koch. We are back. This is Profound Professionals. I know you missed me. We took a week and a half off. What is that about? Craziness. The ocean called me. I must answer. Must always go to the ocean when it calls you. So I am Jessica Koch. This is Profound Professionals. You are the amazing people who've been watching and following and sharing us for almost 8 years now. We're the show that features industry experts from all over the world that are doing things outside of the box. They help people with their personal life and they help people grow their business. We have one of each today for you. How do you like me now? Right? It's a good thing. It's a super good thing. We have Chris. He is your local marketing expert. You know what? That local guy around the corner who's got that boots on the street experience, that guy who is helping you no matter where you are on the planet, but with that local expertise flair and pizzazz. We've got Chris. We are just super excited to hear from him. And we have Alberta, and she is a divorce recovery and trauma coach. And you know, all of our journeys as we go, we sometimes run into that thing or two that we just need that little bit of extra help to get through. And so we have Alberta here for you with that. So welcome both of you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, we are going to go totally against the waves of ladies first. So we're going to start with Chris. Chris is the man of the hour. He is our marketing expert. Tell us a little bit about how you know, a lot of boys, I shouldn't stereotype. Some grow up, they want to be a chef, they want to be a race car driver, a jet pilot, the firefighter, you know, and Chris said, no way, man. 5 years old, he was like, marketing is for me. I'm going to do the marketing thing. How did you make that leap and begin that journey?
Yeah, not so much, but you know, it's one of those things that actually in college, I was a journalism major, and part of that you had to work for the school newspaper for a period of time. And my job wasn't so much writing. I was on the ad selling department. So I was involved in the advertising side of it. And, you know, that caught my interest. I'm like, hey, this writing stuff's for the birds. It takes too much time and you don't get paid very well. So let's look at this advertising side of it. And so that's how I really got involved in it. But after college, I went into telecom of all things.
Well, if that doesn't teach you some sales techniques, then nothing in the planet will. I did my own excursion with some telecom sales, and I also did radio and advertising sales. I'm like you as well, Chris. So you went into telecom, then what happened?
Yeah, I went to telecom. I was in telecom for years, and then you know, that's when the back then telecom bust happened, and I was like, you know, it's time to switch industries, and I wanted to get back into that advertising thing, and I got a company called, this is really going to date me, but a company called AOL back in the day.
You got mail, right?
They gave me a job in advertising sales, and that was, I don't know, 20 years ago probably. And that evolved into me starting my own agency about 15 years ago. And that's the history of it. That's how I got started.
Wow. And so what's probably the thing that lights you up inside the most about what you do for clients?
That's an easy one. It's taking struggling local businesses. I'm more specifically now in the dental niche, but you know, everything that I talk about really applies to any type of local business, but it's finding a struggling business, and when they come to us, they struggle, and by the time they leave us, they're doing great and buying more locations and just being successful. That's what really gets me up in the morning.
You know, and I think that that's a perfect segue for us to chat with Alberta some here, because I hear what you're doing for customers and their business growth, and I hear that same wavelength of what Alberta can do for someone who's, you know, facing and recovering through divorce so that they can come out on the other side successful. You know, they came in struggling, having a hard time, and then they get to have the transformation following a trauma or following a divorce. So why don't you share with us briefly a little of your story too, Alberta, and tell us how you stepped into this expertise? Because again, not, you know, I know and not stereotyping girls and boys, because I wanted to be a jet pilot too. My daughter wanted to be an astronaut and a ballerina and all the things, right? So, and I looked at race car driving, although it was a little fast for me. I felt like jet pilot was a little better, more my speed, even though I'm pretty sure a jet's faster than a car. Just it's all in all in perception, right? You don't feel like you're going as fast in a jet maybe as you do in a race car.
Right.
But anyway, I'm pretty sure that when your kindergarten teacher asked Alberta what she wanted to be when she grew up, or he asked you what you wanted to be when you grew up, divorce recovery and trauma coach wasn't on the list.
It wasn't even on the radar. So my path is very unique path to this great work that I'm doing, that I enjoy so much. I actually had a life crisis. In 2016, I suffered a brain hemorrhage. My blood vessels snapped. I was pre-med at the time, and it flooded my brain for 2 days before it was discovered. And that was my wake-up call, because at that time, my life was so stressful. It was so toxic. That was the last straw. And so after I healed up from that, 7 months after the brain hemorrhage, I pursued a master's degree and filed for divorce in order to create a better life for my sons. And actually, it was working in the healthcare system after graduation that I really was confirmed in this new path of mine. I found myself working at a plastic surgery clinic, and I was naturally coaching trauma survivors, people who had fell in acid, or people who had their limbs removed or were in tragic accidents. And I had been coaching actually all my life, but never thought about that professionally. But that experience and then the overwhelming feedback that I got from patients and how I helped them change their life. Afterwards, I got certified and I just went full in, but I specialize in trauma survivors who have suffered a bad divorce. That's the program. It's 3 months or less. I help you bounce back more powerfully, more confident, more whole, more purposeful, and more attractive in 3 months or less.
Now, let me ask you, obviously we know the kind of, the client, what pain they're feeling and what kind of client is drawn to you for your services, because you've got a really clear, definitive line here. But how are they finding you? Are you building relationships with other, maybe diverse attorneys or mediators, or, what's the path that they typically come into, or are they seeing a workshop you have from a Facebook ad?
Yes.
Or like what's happening? Talk to us about how they're finding you. How are your clients finding you?
Yes, so I am not limited in the ways that I try to contact the public. So be it an in-person meeting, an online workshop, I do have alliances with attorneys. I'm just trying to get the word out there. And so thank you for this interview, because it's another pathway as well to try to reach people that need help to regain control of their life.
Yeah. So do you offer one-on-one coaching? Is it in person, virtual? Is it workshops? Is it in a group session and group therapy? Is it an online course? What are some of the ways that you're actually serving your customer?
So those that want, so I do online workshops right now, and those that want more customized help, and certainly you need that because everyone's situation is different. Then we do one-on-one coaching. They can book a call with me and we'll talk about a plan that works for them.
That's lovely. I love that. So, Chris, I know you spoke a little bit about your niche, so that those local businesses, really helping them also expand, and you have this high level expertise in the dental niche, but not limited to that. So talk to us similarly, as we were just sharing with Alberta. How are people finding you? Do you give marketing workshops, or is just a referral for a corporate business? Is it really more of a mid-sized corporate start business where they have staff and several locations, physical, or, share with us a bit about how people are finding you and how you're serving them.
Yeah, we get a lot of our clients from word of mouth. So other dental practices that have done well with us, they refer to their friends who they went to dental school with, or whatever. So we get a lot of that. We also do some advertising on Facebook. That seems to help. A lot of organic, like doing what I call authority building, like doing podcasts like this, talking about relevant experience, things like that helps. I've found in marketing that usually it's not just one thing that's going to do it for you. You really kind of have to dabble in a lot of different things. And I think that joint ventures, what I call, like working with dental consultants, for instance, that work with dentists.
Yes.
So other professionals that work in dentistry, team up with them, and you can get some good referrals that way too.
If you were to list, obviously dental, but if there were is there two other industries that you would say these are the top 3 industries we've really knocked the socks off of and really done so well with, and we love working with them? Are there 2 others? Or are you really kind of streamlining into dental solely?
Yeah, all of our clients right now are in dental. But when I first started my agency, we pretty much took on anybody that would pay us. So we had attorneys, mechanics, all kinds of different things. But we found that, when you take on different industries like that, it takes some time to learn that industry. And they're kind of paying you to learn the industry. And I don't know that that's fair. So we decided that we needed to really niche down and be an expert in one industry. And we really haven't looked back since. So that's awesome. That's been our bread and butter for 15 years now, basically.
Now, dental organizations anywhere in the country, anywhere in the world, anywhere in Canada, London, Australia, anything dental, or just the United States? What's your feel?
We can do anywhere in the world. Most of our clients now are in the United States, but we've got experience with Canada, Mexico, Australia. Yeah.
Very good. Very good. Now, are you dabbling in their national associations and going to their annual conferences and speaking at some of those events?
It's interesting that you bring that up. I did that. I went to several conventions, some of the bigger ones, set up a booth. It was really expensive to do. Yeah. We didn't get a lot out of it. We found that, in our niche in dentistry, that a lot of those doctors show up just to do the continuing education credits.
Yes.
And a lot of those folks are kind of like introverts. They don't necessarily like to go out and have great conversation, right? And so you kind of see them like skipping around all the vendors back to where they go to the classes. But it's interesting that you bring that up, because in our team meeting, we're talking about some new ideas, and that's popped up again. So we may be giving that a try in the second half of this year, of just kind of getting the convention booth out and trying to meet clients that way as well.
So I've been in the national conference world and speaker for more than 25 years. And what I would suggest is never get a vendor table unless you have staff that can man it and sit there with it, because really where you should be is offering to, getting your hold in and building your relationships to be the keynote or a top speaker, building out a course that could be accredited from a marketing standpoint for continuing education credits. Build something that those dentists can use for their continuing education credits to get their attention. Because even if you just leave with 3 clients of a conference of 1,000 dentists, you're in good shape.
That'd be a success,
Yeah, it's a success. And then you've got 3 more clients who are going to just send you referrals, right? From other ways. The other idea I have for you is one of the things I'm doing, because we have a virtual assistant membership program. So we have about 100 VAs globally that help our clients with the back office stuff that, they shouldn't be doing. And one of the things I have my team doing personally for me is I have about 5 marketing experts, and we send them to a lot of the virtual networking events, and they go and they have one specific call to action. Your one specific call to action for your marketing team going out to those virtual networking is, we really love an introduction to your dentist. That's it.
Right.
We'd really love, everybody's got a dentist if they want to keep their teeth, and we'd really love an introduction to your dentist. And if you could get 3 introductions to a dentist every time someone went to a virtual networking, that would be dollars well spent.
Yeah, that's a great idea.
So, yeah. So I say the same to you, Alberta. I would say there are some national associations of women business owners and conferences for women and events for women. And I don't know if you just work with women or you work with women and men. So that's something we should talk
Yes,
about.
both.
You do work with both. So, you
Mhm.
know, attending those different events where these individuals are, just about everyone knows someone who's going through a divorce, right? And that's the other thing you say. You can go to virtual networking things or have your team on your marketing team on your behalf go attend these things and say, hey, if you know a divorce attorney or someone going through a divorce, I would love an introduction. I can share with them this free 10-step guide or whatever, so that they don't feel like, oh gosh, I'm going to send my friend to them. They're going through divorce and then she's going to want to take their money. You want to be able to give them something nurturing, a safe space, a community to process this, and permission to introduce you to them. But then you give them two options in your case, because one is sort of a sensitive personal introduction, but the other is, oh, I probably know a divorce attorney, or I know, maybe also being introduced to realtors, because how many realtors are selling a house because a couple's going through a divorce, right? Right?
Oh my goodness.
And everybody knows a realtor, at least 5. So if you start to go to these things with a clear call to action to say, these are the 3 people I'd like to meet, can you email introduce me to any of them? That would help me. Then it's a very non-threatening resource that you're going to walk away with success, right? That's what
Indeed.
I think anyway. That's what I think
I love
anyway.
that. I love that.
Okay. Now, Alberta, before I wanted to get tips from both of you, but before you give us a tip, is there anything else? I know we're going to talk about your book later, not that, but is there anything else about your business or yourself that you haven't felt like you shared with our amazing audience, who I know is hitting the share button because they just have big hearts and getting the word out there for us? So thank you for that. Put in the comments any of your ideas of how we can't. Hey, maybe you know a dentist. You could put in the comments to Chris, hey, I know a dentist. I could introduce you one. Hey, I know I bet you know a realtor. You're fibbing. You're fibbing if you don't say realtor. And you might know a divorce attorney. So make some introductions for our beautiful guests, because that would make you the superhero. And I just love it when our audience is the hero. But share with us anything else about yourself or your business that you don't feel like we covered, and then give us a great tip. And get ready, hold on to your hat. Literally there, Chris, because you'll be up next. Go ahead, Alberta.
Well, so I guess I would just share that I'm a trauma survivor myself, and my experience does not come from my coaching experience. It comes from my own traumatic divorce. So I can certainly relate and connect. And the program that we offer is holistic, mind, body, and spirit. So
beautiful.
We really try to fully address the whole person.
Mm-hmm.
And then for an inspirational tip, I feel like I just want to encourage people to take it easy on yourself. I feel like we just push ourselves so hard, and it's okay to be patient with yourself. And then we also treat others we teach others to treat us by the way we treat ourselves. So it's so important to treat ourselves well. Rest when you're tired, eat when you're hungry. No guilt.
I have an accountability partner, and she constantly teaches me to be gentle with myself. And, on the same level, we want to hold ourselves accountable. And that's why we have accountability partners, but also to remind us to be gentle with ourselves. I think that's beautiful. Thank you for that, Alberta. Chris, share with us anything else we didn't really cover about your amazing business, and give us a tip that someone can use today that will improve their marketing and set their world on fire.
Yeah, I think that it's important to know about my company is that we're a small business, just like the businesses that we represent. So we don't have any plans to be a big, huge company that's just looking to scale. Kind of our motto is leave our clients better than when we met them, right? In terms of business strategy, just becoming more visible and having a better sense of how to survive in this business world. So I think my tip would also be that, do whatever it takes to make yourself visible to your clientele. So we talk a lot to our clients about who is your ideal client, right? So if you're a dentist, you want a 25 to 34-year-old female with 2.5 kids, a golden retriever, and owns her own home? Great. And do you also want, 45 to 65-year-old guy that has dental problems? That's great too. But if you don't identify who those client avatars are, you have no idea who you're supposed to be marketing to. And then that turns into just throwing a whole bunch of stuff up against the wall and hoping something sticks. And hoping, my friends, is not a legitimate business strategy. So I think start with identifying who you want to come into your door, whether you're a plumber, a lawyer, or whatever, a locksmith, right? Who is your client? And then come up with a marketing plan to target where those people are hanging out.
Absolutely. And you mentioned before collaborations. And I think one of the most important thing that I've learned as a business owner is where are those people hanging out and who are the heads of those groups and organizations. Make genuine, mutually beneficial, collaborative relationships with those people who already have built the group of your ideal avatar. And then you guys both can go so much further and faster together.
Yeah. And Alberta, I was going to tell you another idea for you. There's tons of Facebook groups now that have, women's like support counseling or women's divorce. If you can find the admins of those groups and get in with them and offer just free counseling, free support just to get yourself in the door, free tips and tricks, I think that could do a lot as well.
Also, these admins are really struggling to monetize their effort that they've built this group. Now their sole focus is to help these people because they love the people. They love the group. That's why they created the original group, and that's why they grew, and that's why people were attracted to them. But on some level too, they put time, money, and effort into this. And if they can find a way that both nurtures their community as well as can bring in additional revenue stream for them so that they can do even more for that group or for that cause, and even for themselves and their family, because there is nothing wrong with that. Then you have a true win scenario, right? Where you're not seen as the competition coming into their space, trying to poach their people. You're seen as a resource that they're able to, use with their people. And, if they're really smart like me, my favorite thing ever is to refer business and introduce someone to someone amazing to do the work and get paid for it and have to do nothing. Like that to me is brilliant sauce right there. I'm just going to tell you, I love the ability to say, Chris, you should so handle this client. Thank you for the referral fee. Now you go do the work and I'll just go spend the money. This is a great deal for me, And so when they're able to see that as an opportunity, then yay them. And if you are able to customize some of your stuff to make it kind of quasi-branded, white labeled for their community, because remember, it's always all about them, then that gives them a warm and fuzzy too, where you've customized things to meet their community in a way that is appealing to them. Now, of course, you have to make sure that's something they want, but that is attractive to many group leaders, where it can then be seen by their community as part of who they are and what they're doing. You're just an extension resource that's been added to benefit their community. And sometimes that's more comfortable, so it doesn't feel, again, like somebody's coming in to reroute the program. Now, Chris, could you share with us a cause that is close to your heart and that you care about? Because we started this Profound Professional with the very first episode of amazing humans who were also amazing because they were touching the community or the world at large in a greater way. And yes, now is the time. If you haven't already, hit that share button, because you might be inspired or inspire someone else as we hear about these new and great causes. So share with us the cause that you care about.
Yeah, so mine is really locally here in the Denver area, we have what's called the Dumb Friends League. And it's essentially a no-kill shelter for animals. And they're a large organization. So think of it kind of like a humane society or something like that. But I'm a huge animal lover, and, I'm a big believer in helping that whole community out. And man, there's a lot of need there and a lot of need for a lot of funding. So I'm a big supporter of that.
I love that. And animals are so kind and loving, and they give unconditional love, and they are really a part of the big healing process for a lot who have received and experienced trauma. And I know they have service pets of all kinds, filling all kinds of needs, but including emotional support now is a legitimate thing that our society has begun to embrace, the importance of mental health, and that loving, consistent, healthy love that's unconditional that an animal can provide, and that support is a beautiful part of many people's healing process, and which you would believe is a brilliant segue on my part to Alberta's causes and and things that are close to her heart. Now, make sure you're putting in the comments the causes that you care about. Just remember, awareness is a big factor here. Someone could see in the comments the cause that you share, and they could be inspired to give to that cause, to give time, treasure, or talent to it, or to a cause similar in their community. Chris talked about animals in his community. Someone might be inspired to go, you know what, I've been meaning to go adopt a kitten, or hey, I've been meaning to donate some money so they can have some more pet food or shots or things they need for the animals. So you just could inspire someone to do something good today. So hit the share button, add some stuff in the comments, and now let's hear about Alberta's favorite causes too.
So Alberta has a number of causes that I have been involved with for years, volunteering at my local hospital, in the ICU unit, working in the school system. Teachers really need you and your help and your support in the school system. And then my newest one is volunteering with Memphis Youth Athletics. They provide support and athletics for children here in the city of Memphis, regardless of financial background.
I love that. That is so, so beautiful. Alberta, as we move into the next piece of one of my favorites, because I am just banana sauce about books, we are creating the ultimate book list. Every guest that comes on shares with us the book that inspired their personal life, helped them grow their business, and or also we'll touch on the books written by our two amazing guests today. So we'll be sharing that as well. Now, if you're watching, if you've written a book, put it in the comments. If you have a favorite book, put it in the comments. Alberta, tell us a book not written by you that inspired your personal life or helped you grow your business.
One book that really helped me, especially in the past year, is the Bible. And it's provided me with hope and comfort, resilience, and just commitment to excellence.
I love that. And interesting enough, one of my favorite authors who wrote he wrote 1 Minute Manager, also wrote Lead Like Jesus. And he wasn't religious at all, really, before he wrote 1 Minute Manager. He tells his story in an interview on YouTube that I just was so excited about. And it just became this phenomenon. And he was touched by God through the whole experience. And there's so much more than just personal growth in this book that you share with us today. There's also leadership knowledge, and even business and investing knowledge. And there's just so many words of wisdom in how we can conduct ourselves. So great book. And you're an author. You've written some books. Share with us about those.
Yes, I actually happen to have the book behind me. I just saw it.
That's very convenient. That's very convenient.
So I'm one of the co-authors. This is Transforming Your Life, Volume 6. I wrote my piece from my chemo chair a year ago. It went #1 in 8 countries. And so what I wrote on is From Pain to Power, Transforming Your Trauma.
Wow, that's so beautiful. Thank you for sharing that. We'll make sure that the links and to get to both of these amazing guests are in the comments. They're in the descriptions, wherever you're watching this. We promote on, I think we're close to 17 platforms. I always say more than 15, just so I'm covering myself. But bunches of platforms, wherever you're watching this, check description. And if it all fails, you can check my website, because a link to their custom article and directly to this video will always be living there as well. So Chris, talk to us about a book that inspired your personal life or helped you grow a business, not written by you first.
It's hard to compete with the Bible, but I'm gonna try.
I know, right?
Probably one for me. It's called E-Myth Revisited. It's
yes.
That's a good one because it really teaches you how to build a business versus just creating a job for yourself. There's so many, even in, dentistry is a little different because you kind of have to work there if you're a dentist, but actually you don't. But it really teaches small businesses to set up their business so it doesn't evolve around you. So if you want to go on vacation or go do something, your business doesn't shut down, right? So I think that's a big one. And then another one I think was called Duct Tape Marketing. That's a great one, which is really practical. Like you read it and you're like, oh yeah, why not do that? Just tips and guides on how to market a small business. So probably those two.
I am totally going to have to remember that one and add it to my list. E-Myth I have read many, many times and have multiple copies throughout the bookshelves in my home. Our next house, which will be oceanfront very soon, will have a full library in it that we're going to design with the architect, the kind that has the ladder that scrolls back and forth.
Oh, yes.
And multiple levels with a spiral staircase like you see in the TV. I'm excited about that. Because I want all the books. I know I love trees. Okay. Don't text in the comments. I should go completely electronic, but there's enough books out there that were already printed that I can fill my library with without killing additional trees. And I promise to plant some. I promise I'll plant. I love all kinds of forms of books, audiobooks, written books. I have a trouble with reading it from a tablet or a Kindle and all the things. I feel like I'm in front of a screen enough. I want to get away from a screen. So anyway, but Chris is also an author. He has another book to share with us. Tell us about another book you've written.
Yeah, so I wrote a few years ago, The Ultimate Guide to Internet Marketing for Dental Practices. And it was my first stab at it. And I'm actually in the middle of writing an update to it now. So, yeah.
Hey, don't forget, everyone listening, AI is your friend, okay? It's not cheating. It's a soup starter. Back in the day, women would share bread starters and soup starters and all different things so that they could come up with a unique and amazing, wonderful bread dish or meal for their family. The same as with chat GPTs of the world and the AIs of the world, because they can give you a great starting point, and then you really can add your secret sauce, add to it, expand on it faster and more powerfully than ever before. So don't wag your finger at the AI if you haven't jumped aboard the bandwagon just yet. So that's definitely a support and a help. Well, I don't know about you guys, but I've had a blast. This has been wicked fun to have both of you here. I'm hoping you're both enjoying it, Chris and Alberta.
Yes, definitely.
I think you've shared amazing things with our audience, and our audience is amazing because they're sharing all the time. We're just so lucky to have them following and liking and sharing in the comments all their love and all of their ideas. Now, if you're watching and thinking, wait, I can help someone's personal life, I can grow their business, I'm as smart as these two amazing people on this show, well, I say bring it on. Reach out to us and our team, and we'll let you know just how you get scheduled on our show. About 70% or more of the guests we have had, I never meet personally first. They have been personally email introduced to us by other guests. They have been sent to us by amazing followers. They have reached out and applied. And then we got the joy, and I personally got the joy of meeting these amazing souls and sharing their stories with you. So reach out, hey, and be a hero, be someone's hero, because I bet Chris and Alberta know another industry expert, someone who can help someone's personal life or grow their business. Because if you don't know another industry expert and you're an industry expert, your head is in a rock or like you're ostriching it, and this is not a good marketing strategy. So if you do know someone, be their hero in ours and send them our way, introduce them to our show so that we can feature them as well. We don't want it to be all about us. We want it to be about everyone. So share the word. Now, as always, I will not let these two great guests get away, even though I think we're baking Chris in the sun over there. He looks a little warm. I'm warm for him. We're not going to let him get away till both of these lovely guests share a piece of final thought, information, or inspiration as we close out for today. So ladies first this time, Chris. We'll let Alberta go first. Alberta, what do you have for us? A final thought, a piece of information or inspiration that you would like the audience to hang on to and maybe comment on as they're listening.
So this is going to sound kind of deep, but it's so critical and important to tell yourself the truth about what's going on in your life, your relationships, so that you can keep yourself out of trouble and so that you can make better decisions. Don't make decisions when your emotions are high, but do tell yourself the truth.
I love that. Honesty with ourselves. That's a real thing. Thank you for sharing that, Alberta. All right, Chris, she's a tough act to follow every time. What do you have for us as a final thought?
I think for me, it's know your numbers. Your numbers will tell you the whole story of your business. You need to know things like what your profit margins are, who your ideal clients are, we talked about, how much it costs you to get each new client. I would say probably 90% of the new clients that I talk to have no clue what these numbers are. They don't know how to, figure out what their true profit is. They don't know what it costs them to get a new client. And if you don't know that stuff, you don't know how to adequately run your business. So get with somebody, a financial expert, a business consultant, whatever, if you do need some help, but know your numbers.
Yeah. And you said something very brilliant earlier today that made me think of the book Who Not How, right? So the E-Myth really is about not knowing all of these things as a business owner and not needing to know. It's just needing to know and find and build the right kind of team to help you succeed. And figuring out those numbers is a key piece of being able to afford and figure out what has to be done and take place in the business so that you can have a marketing team and expert like Chris, so that you can have and go through the trauma coaching and recovering so that you can be the best version of yourself within your business, so that you can have the bookkeeper and the VA team behind the scenes or whatever tools you need to run the business so that it truly can run without you. What brilliant advice from both of you. So, all right, everyone, this has been awesome sauce. Share, comment, reach out to us, come be on the show, come and join us. As always, I haven't changed. I'm not changing. I'm changing every day, hopefully a little better every day. But I am Jessica Koch, and I am your host. And this is Profound Professionals. So until next time, everyone, be kind to yourself and be kind to each other. Bye, everybody.
Bye.